In this video, I will discuss what an agent-based learning environment is. Can you remember one of those little friends who were there to assist you when you worked on Microsoft? That's exactly what the document, based on the research by Hugh-Lit Wu and Kyung Won, focuses on. The animated characters that were designed to help you and get things done easily. The research's objective was to determine how language is perceived when instructional design incorporates an agent of technology. The subjects were a group of pre-service teachers. The subjects were given an instructional design process in order to combine programming and pedagogy. Integrating both, they would create authentic activities. The model provided was ADDIE, with a slight variation, since it wouldn't be implemented nor evaluated. The purpose of the model is to identify learners' condition prior to learning, attitude, skills, and knowledge. Added to this, there was a structure of thought provided, EPTT, in order to understand the nature of knowledge, the methodology, a guide, and the tools for the learning process. During the process, the subjects ought to create an agent and scenes to complete the learning environment. They would understand the model design to choose ideas to be learned and taught to consequently work out a problem. The research concluded in two areas of concern: the practicability and the availability as for the technical skills. Hello there, this is Betsy. This time, I'd like to share about a case study performed by Hugh-Lit Wu and Kyung Won of Nanyang Technological University. The aim of this study was to experiment the use of agent technology with a class of pre-service teachers, or trainees. The objectives were to understand how well the agent technology was accepted by the trainee teachers and to reveal any difficulty in designing the agent-based learning environment. They performed this study with pre-service teachers, second-year students doing a diploma in education. The method implemented in this case study consisted of having a pre-service teachers design agent-based learning environments on their own. A questionnaire was also used to obtain summative assessment from the participants at the end of the course. The scores from the questionnaire was used to measure the trainee teachers' acceptance for their learning experience. Let's take a quick look at the definition of an agent. Johnson and Ganeshan define pedagogical agents as animated characters designed to operate in an educational setting to support or facilitate learners. And if you were a user of Microsoft among 1993 and 1995, you might remember one of those little friends who used to appear as assistants when you needed some help in order to create a certain kind of document or work a spreadsheet, and they were there to help you, such as Robbie or the Wizard. So you might be familiarized with them. Besides of making sure that students had basic programming skills, they were introduced to a pedagogical model to design their agents. This model is known as the ADDIE: Analyze, Design, Develop, Implement, and Evaluate. But two modifications were done to the original ADDIE model. First, the components Implement and Evaluate were removed from the model because trainee teachers did not have the opportunity to implement their designs in a real school setting. So, they were introduced to the model EPTT. The EPTT is nothing but different domains that have to be considered in order to apply a design. E stands for epistemological perspective. What do we apply? Constructivism, activity theory, experimental learning. The next dimension for P is a pedagogical paradigm. What do we apply there? The case-based, problem-based, exploratory, or research-based. The T stands for theoretical basis. This applies to multimedia learning, information processing theory, and others. And the last one, T for tools, stands for the scene of contextualization, or the Microsoft agent for scaffolding. Let's take a look at this example. A constructivist designer would probably choose cases or problems for his or her instructions. Next, the designer will have to identify a relevant theory to guide the design. Finally, the designer needs to select instructional tools to facilitate the learning process. Trainee teachers were supposed to include agents as facilitating tools in their designs. Facilitation is an essential process for effective learning. In my case, in the career I study, I have a course which is called multimedia, and this relates very closely to what we do in multimedia course. We have to create settings that will guide students understand in a better way a certain subject or topic or a lesson. We have to think about the learning theory from the perspective of the learner in order to design this setting and make sure that the learner will understand the instructions given throughout all the environment. According to Sylvester 2004, in order to produce scenes, there are a few elements that are suggested and required. They are dialogue, actions and gestures, characters' thoughts, expositions, description of setting, comments or observations by the author or narrator, transitions from the previous scene into the next scene, contribution to the plot, and successful or failed outcomes. As a result of this study, it was found that agent technology was well received by the trainee teachers since they regarded their learning experience as positive and meaningful. They also believed that such technology would be helpful in promoting interest in their classroom. In conclusion, the agent-based technology is recognized as a useful tool to support classroom learning. At the end of the study, it is recommended to build a repertoire of customizable scene templates focusing on very small and specific content areas, and to recognize optional basic agent scripting training programs, especially for those who lack programming skills. I am also a trainee, as I told you before, in a multimedia course at the university. I believe that it is very important to be able to follow a model of planning every time we decide to create an environment, in this case a learning environment for our students. We must include an agent, which in our case would be the character or characters of our environment, and they will be the ones in charge of guiding our learners or students throughout the environment. I hope that this is useful for you guys out there who are trying to use some authoring tools to create learning systems. We are about to create a new video in Flash, and it is kind of difficult, especially when you are not sure of the programming language that it has to be used in order to create the new learning environment. I advise you to get some training or to find some of those useful videos in YouTube in order to learn a little bit more about script programming. And of course, to look out there for those authoring tools that are going to help you create wonderful learning environments for your students. Thank you very much. That was about it. See you next time.